Can Phoenix be an effective champion to use in Incursions? In this video we're going to be finding out whether or not that's true or incorrect. Yes, this video is going to deep dive whether Phoenix is an effective champion to use in Incursions. For those that don't know, every Friday on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live and as well on Dan's channel, Dan Barube, we do a deep dive into champions that are effective in Incursions and test them out. Dan is from Frontline MCOC, so you should know that name, and as well is my co-host of the Contest Round podcast. Our ongoing series is to look at these champions, pair them up with types of hacks that benefit them, and as well look at current meta synergies that have recently been created. So yeah, it's a really fun deep dive session, and as well we chat a lot with our live chat. So make sure you come on by each and every Friday when we deep dive a certain champion. We've got a long list of champions to do, but obviously we would like to be recommended champions, so put it down in the comment section. If there's a champion you'd like us to try, at least rank 3, rank 4, 5-star versions, or even 6-star versions that we can take in Sector 6 and test out against some of the evil forces that we find. But the champion of choice is definitely Phoenix for this particular edition, and as well we're going to go over some things to consider, some synergies to look up, and also a little bit of stream highlights and finishing off with some good and bad points as we normally do if you are familiar with the ongoing series. First of all, let's begin our journey of discovery by checking out the synergies. Now recently there's been an Airwalker synergy that has been added to the mix, and it isn't actually that bad, especially if you're utilizing the likes of armor breaks, and that would be something of value for doing incursions, but there are more beneficial ones to check out. Now, if I didn't require all members to be somewhat active in incursions to get us through some later zones, I would have used the likes of Emma Frost. If my Emma Frost was ranked up more, I would more than likely use it for the incursions run. But the one that I settled on was Mr. Sinister to begin with, as this had a ability to unlock a True Strike, which is very important for most of the time you will face off against Spideys, you know, and if you've not got a True Strike, then it can be less than effective for what you're going to go up against, so that's a good option there. And Mr. Sinister is actually a pretty decent champion for incursions, as we've tested out in previous editions of the series. I was slightly interested in the Terek synergy, especially when it comes to absorbing one of the Fury buffs to then increase the amount of damage on a 4th light attack. But it just meant that I was changing the way that I was playing, like a play style, and as well those Fury buffs I'd like to have kept on more on my particular champion when we're talking about the idea of maximizing damage output, and especially in a shorter rate of time, or whilst those Fury buffs are gaining rapidly. I don't like the idea of losing one just to see whether or not the damage is going to be a little bit better. However, though, maybe in future that would be a cool thing to try out, or maybe for a future video idea as well. Now, when it comes to playing styles of Phoenix, I would say this is where I think a lot of people would kind of clash with the ways to play it. Mainly, I've seen a lot of people say about it's the parry heavy method, it's just a case of like spamming heavy attacks. Also, you could go with the idea of like, once you have got the Fury buffs up, or 11 Furies, you've gone overloaded, then try to build up and smash in an SP3, which is the attack consumes all of Phoenix's Fury buffs, granting up to a 240% damage bonus based on a number of Fury buffs consumed. So you're going to be damage outputting a lot more. Is that something that is going to be possible each fight? Maybe. It just depends on further rooms or further zones that you get as to, or further zones that you get, the extent of damage that you would be able to do in a given fight. You may only be able to put in an SP2 very early on before you'll find that the fight is already over. When you get to further rooms, possible to do an SP3 a bit more, and I did play about with different options and finding like, could you or should you play it X, Y, or Z way? But yeah, I mean, that would be the best way to play the champion to maximize damage output. But at the end of the day, you can just get yourself empowered very quickly or get overloaded very quickly and smash through the enemy, building up those incinerates, and maybe applying pressure to apply a lot more incinerates, especially when it comes to further hacks that you're going to see in this video, or things to consider to hack as well. And sticking with the subject of hacks, there's a lot of hacks to apply. The things to hack would be the special attacks, attributes, as you build those up, those attribute boosts, furies, and incinerates. Even though the champion being awakened is going to be very important to building back some kind of regeneration, it would be a case if you are getting stuff like buff cornucopia, it does working quite well. The hacks to apply, however, there's a lot. Compounding harm, which is good for armor break. The champion does armor breaks. Perpetual offense, you gain prowess after throwing special attacks. Again, very important as it's a champion that likes to throw special attacks to gain damage increase, especially with the SP1, the SP2 as well. There's percentage increases there. Debuff reinforcement incinerate, it's a given and needs to be looked into if you get an opportunity. There's attack enhancement specials. That's an optional one, and again improves the attack rating. Rage into combat, you get fury buff, you get power gain. Very important for this champion. As well, we've got martial artist power rate and buff increases with the power gain buff. So that could be important if you've got buff cornucopia, special refund, buff cornucopia, attack surge. All of the attack surges are all good for this. Attack enhancement, lights, heavies, etc. There's lots there that would be just very beneficial for the champion. Attribute boost, buff upgrades on Fury, and buff reinforcement on Fury. Anytime something would improve the Fury buff and your champion gets loads of them, then there's a good opportunity to start the hack. And with all that being said, let's roll the highlight reel and then come back with the good and the bad points at the end of the video. And that was back about, I don't know, 4 years ago, I want to say. No, not 4 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Man, just time goes too quickly with life.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we were up to like 30 episodes for the podcast and we started back in February. Like, where's the time gone?
Where does the time go? It is crazy. Good afternoon, Yusef and DJ Digby. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, it is. We were talking about, you know, the world was a very different place when we started the podcast.
That's true. If we knew what was going to happen, we'd probably, well, I don't know.
We had plans and intentions for 2020 that have gone unrealized.
No.
My void. So he's at. What is that? That is 89. He is at 89 right now. So, since I have no use for science sig stones for prestige, I can just take him all the way to sig 200 now.
That's what we're talking about.
But it's really that that Killmonger and Void synergy that is awesome, and that's actually been Rich. My main incursions team for Sector 7 right now is Morningstar, Void, and Killmonger, and it is delightful.
Yeah, I should really work a bit to kind of like set up that team.
Yeah,
I can potentially set up that team, but
yeah, you know, I think I've kind of refined my strategy for the pushes in incursions. I think it's really about having the one main damage dealer, regen character. So that's, you know, that can be your Morningstar, maybe that's your Aegon or your Venom or Hyperion, and then just 2 utility plays that get you through the stuff that your main champion is going to struggle with. Because it's all about just not making the big mistake and losing that champion.
Particular things.
Oh yeah, yeah. My Phoenix is on life support right now. Now this is where not having the regen from the dupe is really hurting me. Like, your Phoenix is just so much more powerful than mine because of the dupe for incursions. Yeah, Big Blue, I totally agree. Once you start reviving or healing instead of grabbing the boss hack, you're really hurting yourself.
I'm just shooting to an SP3 just for the sake of it. Wow.
Bye, bud. I will see you in the next one.
Man, I'm getting so many problems with I had a bit of connection problems a moment ago as well. That's not helpful.
Are you still with the same provider? You haven't been able to
No, we're still locked in until November. I've got an active complaint with them about this, but apparently the town that I live in, everybody's been affected by it. Oh, that's so annoying. That Tranquility, just getting like buff cornucopia is just so delicious. It keeps on pinging me up. Regen as well, like just beautiful. But I got tranquility just after the thing, just kind of like screwing me over. But it's all good. It's still like sustainable. Wow. AI is.
I'm just gaining so much power right now. I'm just popping special 3s off because. She's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She is pretty good.
Is that Coop back again?
No, it's not Coop.
What's that bastard?
We've got running jokes now.
Oh come on! Give me a regen.
I think people from the UK and people from New England are probably wired about the same. But I think people from like the West Coast are much more chill and nicer and not like rushing around and angry all the time.
Dude. Yes, come on.
Is that your Malibu surfer impression, Rich?
Yeah. Dude. My God. I got the regen, dude. As somebody that's met Matt Riddle, I can honestly say, like, bro. Oh, God, bro. Matt Riddle,
Phoenix.
the SmackDown wrestler, by the way.
Oh, yeah, yes. What's the original bro?
Bro.
Bro, dude.
Okay, this is good. I've got a regen. I've got to put in a parry at some point because he's going to hit me through the block any second. But we survive it. I'm all about trying to sustain back, but I'm going to have to hit out in a minute. Like, because it's not going to work. Oh, tits. I got another regen. Oh, come on. This fight's taking forever. It's my fight. It's taking forever. I just want to see if I could regen a bit more than I had, so that's alright. I'm up to 56%.
There you go.
Okay, now let's look over the good and bad points of this champion. I thought this champion was great. The good outweighs the bad, but there needs to be some stuff that's addressed. So good point, which also becomes a bad point. The good point is if the champion is awakened, the regen can be quite nice. My 6-star, which was awakened, isn't on a huge amount of signature stones, but still could gather back a good amount of regen. A higher version, or a higher ranked and as well signatured version, would probably gather a huge amount of regen and as well strength to take on the content. Not so much with the signature ability, but more so for the strength. Damage through the block would be reduced, but as well that's a bad point. It's a bad point to feel that you have to 200 signature a champion for it to be more effective than it is, but still Phoenix is a very good champion nevertheless, and I know that it's a very underrated champion. I think it does get a bit of a bum rap, but it is an underrated champion nowadays. The incinerate damage is another fantastic thing about the champion. The build on it, or the volume, is great. Like, if you want to hack that, you're going to get a good amount of increase of incinerate damage. And as well, the champion is simple to use. It is very easy to use, especially if you're looking to utilize it on the parry heavy method, and as well building up to something like an SP3 as soon as you get overloaded or have those 11 fury buffs that you can really hit home with a good amount of damage. And there we have it. That's been a little deep dive into Incursions and as well Phoenix and Incursions and how much fun that champion is. I would love to have seen some like really OP synergies, but I do think that the Emma Frost and Terex one linked together could be quite nice. I'm just not in a place to rank up a Terex just for the purpose of like being able to get through further rooms with that. And as well, Emma Frost would be the next point of call for me to then help out with that champion getting through more Incursions rooms. But you live and learn, and then next time maybe we do a Phoenix 2 video and then kind of find out what works and what doesn't. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. And check out today's Legends Celebration guide here, some other content over the far left hand corner. Also Rich's Realm, where we're trying to log in. There's problems with the Marvel Realm of Champions at the moment to get into it. So I'm hoping to put some more content on there soon, but I need to find out what's gone wrong. In any case, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now.